And welcome in to the BCTV and WBNH broadcasts from the University of New Hampshire in Lundholm Gym. I'm Corey Munster-Tiger, sitting with Lauren Fox, Jack Watson providing some additional insights. We're here for the NHIAA Boys Championship, where the Bedford Bulldogs will be taking on the Pinkerton Astros. A rematch from earlier this season where the Bulldogs prevailed by 15 points, 91-76 in mid-February. Lauren, what do you expect from tonight's game?
I would figure more of the same. You're going to have a high-scoring game. These are two teams with very high-powered, high-octane offenses. And truthfully, it's going to be the team that winds up controlling the tempo of the game. Pinkerton's head coach, after the previous game, basically said, look, we knew Bedford was going to run. We tried to run with them. That was our failing in that game. Pinkerton's game is not going to be running. The team that's going to control the tempo is the team that's going to win the game. So if they force Bedford into a half-court offense, well, that'll be a notch in the armor of Pinkerton. That's what they're going to try to do, I have a feeling, based on what we saw and what was said after the game.
And run the Bulldogs will. This court is about 10 feet longer than any other court they've played on in the regular season. It should be quite a marvel to watch this evening. Road to the playoffs. Bedford was 17-1 in the regular season. They finished with the #1 seed based on strength of schedule calculation. Pinkerton was also 17-1 in the regular season, came into this tournament as the 2 seed. The Bedford boys got a first round bye on account of that #1 seed. Had an absolute dogfight, pun intended, against Trinity. They won that game by 2 in overtime, 93-91, and then won in the semifinals against Nashua South, 79-56, a much closer game than that score indicates.
Yeah, that Trinity game was a knockdown, drag-out game, and that was one of those, you could have made that game into a mini-series with all the storylines that were going on during that game. The Nashua South game was a different sort of game to listen to, at least, where Bedford just kind of kept punching. All of a sudden, there wasn't anything left in Nashua South's tank, and the Bulldogs ran away with it. So I have a feeling this is going to be a bit more like that game than the Trinity game was. Don't forget, Trinity had that sharpshooter in Tyler Bike, which he really controlled the game early on, gave them that 18-point lead. But for the Bulldogs, they were able to contain him. They were able to make it their tempo, and then all of a sudden, they were in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't characterize it as containing him myself, as he did have 39 points, but they contained him enough to come out with the victory.
Right. It's the, you're losing the battle, but you're winning the war.
Fair enough. Pinkerton, on their way through the playoffs, took on Salem and won by 36 in their first round game, followed by their matchup with Wyndham, prevailing by 22, and then the game before the Nashua South Bedford game, they prevailed over Nashua North by 20. And again, a game that was much closer than that score would indicate.
I would also argue, though, Bedford didn't get a particularly easy drawing Trinity in the first. I mean, that's a 1 versus an 8, but that is not your typical 8 seed that you're going to draw. That Trinity team was deep and strong and athletic, and you'll see some good battles between them and the Bulldogs next year as well. Absolutely.
They came into the tournament at 11-7, and were a fierce battle in that second round game. Again, Bedford getting the first round bye. Tonight's matchup should be a barn burner. That first matchup throughout the regular season, the Bulldogs got out, they ran the ball, getting up and down, they pressed hard, trying for turnovers. Their strategy had been working throughout the regular season, and it did again on February 10th. Luke Soden scored 34 in that first matchup. Aiden O'Connell had 23. Caden Brown with 10. On the other side, led by Jackson Marshall, who we should see a lot of tonight, the Astros, he had 22. Anthony Chin had 20, and Tyrone Chin had 18. A triumvirate that should be very active this evening as well.
And the question is, who do you try to contain? And the other question is, Jackson Marshall, 6'9". That's a big body for somebody to try to contain down low. So he's another key to the game as well. If you can keep the ball out of his hands down low, you'll be in a way better spot. Bedford has some athletic players that will match up against him, but 6'9", athletic or not, it's tough to match against.
Tough to match against. We will take a quick pause for the national anthem, and we will rejoin you for tonight's Division I Boys State Championship. And the raucous crowd begins as the student section has come out in force. Great to see the Bedford students supporting their classmates.
Now, of course, you were a basketball player in high school. I was not a basketball player in high school. I remember leaving basketball games in high school with no voice left. These kids are going to have a hard time talking in class tomorrow morning. Let's just say that.
They sure will, providing the atmosphere that we're looking for. They're going to stay on their feet likely the entire game as they are shaking the far side stands already. Hopping up and down, they're ready for tip-off. Speaking of tip-off, we have starting lineups for you. For Bedford, senior guard Caden Brown, number 5. Junior forward, number 11, Luke Soden. Senior forward, Dylan Lafferty, number 20. Senior forward Sean Toscano, number 24, as well as senior forward Aiden O'Connell, number 25. For the Astros, tipping will be Anthony Chin, the senior forward, number 3. Tyrone Chin, guard, number 4, as he controls the opening tip. Sean Jenkins, number 5, the senior, as well as Jackson Marshall. Now we're going to have a good chance for the Bulldogs to go up early. Caden Brown, the easy deuce to start the game, and the Bulldogs get on the board early.
Pinkerton just didn't take care of the ball in that opening possession. That is not how they wanted to draw that up.
2-0 Bedford. Now they look down low for Marshall. Cross-court pass. Can't quite get it. On the tap-in try was Tyrone Chin, and he's going to get fouled on that putback attempt.
Loved watching Marshall pass out of that double team. The double team came on him quick. He looked, he found a man, and the man couldn't convert, but now to the line, Chin will go to shoot a pair.
Great help defense there by Sean Toscano, rotating back on the backside, got the defensive block as Chin knocks down the first of 2. You're absolutely right, Jackson Marshall, as you can see here on the replay, in the high post, that's the first play with Caden Brown getting the steal and the breakaway. Tyrone Chin makes good on both, score is 2-2. We are broadcasting on radio as well as TV for the replay. As Luke Soden takes the jumper, can't get it to go. Marshall comes away with the defensive board. So you will hear me talking quite a bit, and that is because we are catering to our radio audience. Tyrone Chin sets up the Astros offense. He's top left, dribbles between his legs, gets to the top of the key. Far side now Jenkins, entry pass into Marshall. He gets one off the glass, just overpowering Dylan Lafferty.
And as try as Lafferty might, he's going to have a tough matchup with 32 Marshall all night long.
Aiden O'Connell getting in, drawing contact, can't convert off the glass. Left hand on the left side of the block. Defensive rebound secured by the Astros. Chin brings it up court. Pinkerton leads 4-2 early going here in the first. Jenkins far side, looks for cutters. This is Anthony Chin up top. Jackson Marshall calling for the post up down low. Back up top to Tyrone Chin. Waits for his team to set up their offensive set. Drives left, spins back to the right. Jackson Marshall out by the three-point line. Takes a pivot, passes back to Tyrone Chin. Chin being pressured by Caden Brown. Entry pass, Jackson Marshall. Now he's out beyond the three-point line. Here's Anthony Chin. Up fake, Tyrone Chin steps in, drives hard, passes down low, can't get it to go. That's Jenkins, and defensive rebound for Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell, ball falls to Soden, slapped out of Aiden O'Connell's hands and conveniently lands in Soden's hands. He goes up and gets fouled on the lay-in attempt. And misses, but will go to the line.
That last Pinkerton possession was a lot of what Coach Dave Chase was talking about after the last game. Methodical, working for a good shot, not playing a fast break game with Bedford, because not only does Bedford get up the court well as Soden makes his first free throw, Bedford also gets back on defense well. So trying to fast break them is a losing battle. Trying to lull them to sleep on offense or on defense may be a better strategy.
And they're just going to have to work on that overpowering, plodding offensive approach, specifically trying to get Jackson Marshall that ball down low. He's going to need to draw a double team, and the Astros need to rely on that. Chin to chin, handoff up top, and we're going to get an offensive foul, moving pick on E.J. Johnston. He picks up his first foul.
Yeah, that was a who-me on Johnston, but it was pretty obvious right off the bat that there was a foul, somebody moving around him. So that's the second one on him as well.
Yeah, excuse me, that was his second foul as he picked up that early foul on Luke Soden. Aiden O'Connell now, top of the key, drives hard righty. Lays it down for Luke Soden, blocked by Marshall on that far side. Luke tried the up and under, and Marshall was there to pin it against the backboard. 4-4 is your score. 2.5 in. Caden Brown pokes it away from behind. From Anthony Chin.
It will be interesting to watch when Brown gets matched up on by number 1, Bienvenu Cernuda. That's a mismatch right there. Brown's going to be able to use his larger size to sort of body up, post up on Cernuda.
Matchup size differences in many different places on the court as Bienvenu Cernuda drives and gets the ball stolen. Ooh, lucky there. It looked like Aiden O'Connell got his hand in and then batted it out of bounds, but it was ruled off of Bienvenu Cernuda, and the Bulldogs come away with it.
Just call him PBC.
Brady O'Connell now. Hands near side, Caden Brown. Luke Soden gets doubled. Aiden O'Connell now draws the quick defense of Tyrone Chin. They find Soden in the corner for 3. It's good. Luke Soden with 5 now. 7-4. Bedford leads.
That was just being patient. Soden slipped down to the corner, had that open 3. He had seemingly been forgotten about.
Like all good offensive players, he keeps his feet moving even when he's off ball. Jenkins now finds Bienvenu Cernuda, who turns it over. Soden now looks to get out in the open court, takes a bump, kicks to the corner. Lafferty now back to Brady O'Connell in the middle, dishes it across the key. It gets fumbled, but Soden again, right place, right time. Little floater in the lane, and he has 7 quick points, and the Bulldogs are ahead 9-4.
7-0 run for Bedford as well.
All by Luke Soden as Caden Brown had that opening steal and breakaway layup. Caden Brown picks up a foul, now his first.
Speaking of Caden Brown, that one, Chin just lost the ball, and Brown a little bit out of control going after the ball, just bumped him.
Team second foul, both teams with 2 team fouls. The Astros will inbound on the far side. Tyrone Chin to his brother Anthony. Now dished back to Tyrone. Tyrone goes right side. Brady O'Connell tries to get a hand in. Tyrone Chin back into the key, gets to the foul line. Bounce pass far side, Jackson Marshall. Anthony Chin now looks to post on Caden Brown. Rolls away from pressure, loses it, out of bounds. Bedford basketball.
And again, we've seen what Marshall can do when he's down low. But during that entire possession, he was about 20 feet from the hoop.
He is a big, but he does like to shoot the threes. Can hit them as well. Good shooter. Brady O'Connell breaks the press. Aiden O'Connell for 3. Good. Aiden O'Connell in the scorebooks. And Coach Chase says that's about enough of that. A 12-4 lead for the Bulldogs here. Just under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Coach Moreno has to be pleased with that start.
Yeah, Pinkerton started off well. They had Marshall, and they were using him appropriately down low. And next thing you know, they sort of deviated from that game plan, opened things up for Bedford a bit, got less methodical with their offense, and it really opened things up for Bedford. Those longer shots that they've missed turn into fast break points for the Bulldogs going the other way.
You mentioned it. We saw Marshall posting up down low, really low on the blocks in those early possessions. He started getting out towards the high block and then beyond the three-point line. He can knock those down, but it's not as much of an offensive opener if he's out beyond the arc.
Your bread and butter game, when you have a guy who's that big and is a skilled big, skilled enough that he can shoot a three, your bread and butter's got to be to work the ball down low to him and see what he can do. In much the same way that in our previous game tonight, I don't want Lana McCarthy out there shooting threes. Lana's big game is down low, back to the basket a lot, missed shots, cleaning the glass. If you can do that, you'll control the game. Nobody's going to be able to box him out, let's face it.
And the Astros bring it up the court now. Tyrone Chin brings it over the timeline, sets up the offense. The Bulldogs come out in a 2-3 zone and look for the Astros to try to beat them over the top. This is Jenkins, looks inside. Anthony Chin spins away from pressure, leaves it short in the middle, and Dylan Lafferty comes away with the rebound as Jackson Marshall fought for that offensive board. Brady O'Connell now. Lefty dribble into the lane, got tapped out from behind, comes away to the Astros. Tyrone Chin now in transition, behind the back dribble. They fish it around, they find Anthony Chin for three, and he shoots an air ball. Now Luke Soden back out on the break. Great hustle there by Bienvenu Cernuda. Cernuda scrapping along the way. Soden shoots it, can't get it to go. Now Lafferty comes up with the rebound, that's stolen away by Tyrone Chin. Frantic action here late in the first quarter as the Bulldogs lead 12-4. Chin down low gets a nice dish from Bienvenu Cernuda, and Anthony Chin will go to the line as he's hacked from behind by Caden Brown, his second foul. Good up fake by Anthony Chin. Got Brown off his feet, came down hard on his back, prevented the easy lay-in, but now Anthony Chin will shoot two.
And if you're Caden Brown, you got to be keeping an eye on things. Your team's up 12-4, but you got 10 and a half minutes remaining in this first half, and you got two fouls on you. So there he goes. Nico Bedoyan comes in, and also leaving Lafferty for Toscano.
Tough bounce on the first for Anthony Chin. Couldn't get the shooter's touch as it rolled off the right side of the rim. It remains 12-4. Second is on the way and also rims out. 0 for 2 from the stripe for Chin. Now Soden looks to get into the lane, gets fouled. He was swatted away by Anthony Chin, as you see on the replay, but he was fouled on the way to the hoop by Tyrone Chin.
Yeah, Soden was doing everything he possibly could to try to create a little bit of space with his right shoulder. He just couldn't do it and really got bailed out there by the foul from Chin.
A little hesitation dribble out by the elbow. Soden got just enough time and space to squeak by as he hits the first of two. 8 points now for Luke Soden. And the second is also true. 9 for Soden as he leads the way for the Bulldogs. 14-4 is your score. Just under 2.5 to go in the first quarter. Bulldogs by 10. The Astros regrouping on offense. The Bulldogs playing in a 2-3 zone. Jackson Marshall gets three, pulls for three, and doesn't hit. Long rebound to Aiden O'Connell back in transition. Works his way down low, powers through a couple of folks. Can't get the lay-in to go, and Marshall clears the boards. Tyrone Chin now back in transition. Behind the back dribble, bounce pass, Jackson Marshall kicks it to the corner. Three on the way, short, no good. That was Tyler Herland on the trigger. Now Aiden O'Connell settles things.
We talked earlier about the tempo of the game. Pinkerton is playing this game at Bedford's pace.
Bedford's pace in this case is a travel, as Aiden O'Connell took too many steps as he got into the lane.
You go back to a point in time when Pinkerton was leading in the game, 7 minutes or so ago. And at that point in the game, they were running long offensive possessions. They're not being patient right now. That will not work out well for them.
Tyrone Chin now directing traffic up top. Herland top left, back to Chin. They look around the outside here. Tyrone Chin back to Herland, now in the corner. They have Jenkins down low to Marshall, and he gets fouled. Luke Soden coming away from the backside, took an elbow to the head, but Soden's going to get called for that foul.
Yeah, he did initiate the contact on that one, but he took the brunt of that collision with Jackson Marshall, who's got a few stone on him.
A few is accurate.
More colorful than pounds.
I would say several.
Several stone, yes.
As Chin now back up top, Herland. Entry pass, Marshall kicked it to the corner for three. And Sean Jenkins is true from that corner three. Soden, hesitation dribble at the three-point line. Great block by Tyrone Chin.
And that breaks a 12-0 run, by the way, in favor of the Bulldogs.
14-7 is the score. The Bulldogs hold a 7-point lead following that outstanding defensive play by Tyrone Chin, blocking Soden's mid-range jumper.
And there's Marshall in the corner shooting a three again.
Defense turns to offense right there as Marshall makes good on that three. He has 5. And the Astros are within 4. 14-10 is the score. The Bulldogs still leading. Steal here by Jenkins. Toscano drove the lane, turned it over as he looked far side, and Tyrone Chin.
I'll still make the argument, even though Marshall hit that three, you're better off with him down low. He's a good passer down from that low block.
Marshall now out by the corner three, dishes to Anthony Chin.
He might be doing the Bulldogs a favor if he falls in love with shooting that deep three.
Tyrone Chin gets caught. Looked like he might have traveled.
Jeff Butts agrees with you.
The Bedford faithful agree as well. 2-1 in the first quarter. Long three-pointer is no good by Tyrone Chin, and we'll end the first quarter with Bedford holding a 14-10 lead after one.
So Pinkerton closed out on a 6-0 run. It was 2 threes, Jenkins and Marshall both getting one, but again, I go back to the same thought. You look at Marshall down low, ball touches his hands, it's like he's playing hot potato, and he's accurate when it comes to that. He's not just a big who's passing just to get rid of the ball. He has a plan. So to me, that's the ticket for Pinkerton getting back in the game. Run the offense out of that low block.
Sounds good to me. Jack Watson, high school senior at Bedford High School. Any observations from that first quarter as you join the broadcast?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Caden Brown on the defensive end starting the first quarter did an excellent job going through the passing lanes, causing some turnovers for the Pinkerton side. And then on offense, it's been Luke Soden. He's been the guy all season for Bedford, and he played very well in the first quarter. But Pinkerton started to look better in the end of the first quarter. They were starting to play patient. They were starting to get the ball to the low block, like Lauren said, to Jackson Marshall, and he was just able to pass it out and dish it to open guys, and they were able to claw their way back in this thing. So it's definitely going to be a good one.
It sure is. Marshall knows he's going to get double teamed down low, and he is a very efficient passer out of the low post, as you saw there. Three-pointer by Jenkins in the corner, and then Marshall himself stepping out beyond three-point land, burying a long one as well. 8 minutes back on the board. The Bulldogs lead by 4 as we start the second quarter.
I feel like the entire town of Bedford is here, and I want to know who's actually making sure nobody gets robbed.
Aiden O'Connell dishes to the corner. Nico Bedoyan back up top. Brady O'Connell drives hard, can't get it to go. Rebound pulled away by Tyrone Chin. Almost stolen back by Brady O'Connell, then calls timeout.
I got to say, the presence of mind by Tyrone Chin, once he hit the deck, the immediate thing he did was call timeout. Keep that possession, that's a big deal. They still have 4 more timeouts this half. Why not use it? Keep that possession. Very heady play.
Smart play by the senior as he is able to keep that ball in Astros' hands. 23 seconds here into the second quarter. We do have first quarter stats. Anything jump off the page for you?
The only thing, I mean, both teams shooting pretty well from the field. Bedford, you know, they're hitting about what you'd expect them to. The rebounds, even, there's really nothing that jumps out as strange. The only weird thing is Bedford turned the ball over more than Pinkerton has, but nothing that really runs counter to anything that we saw in the first 8 minutes.
The Astros 2 for 2 from three-point land, 4 for 4 from the stripe, and they've been able to march back into this game. The Bulldogs come out in more of a full court press type situation as Herland pulls from 3, gets open, and buries it. That brings the Astros within 1, 14-13, as they've gone on a run of themselves on their own.
This is going to be a game of runs. I think we're seeing this now.
Brady O'Connell now looks for help, drives the basket, kicks it back. Sean Toscano for 3, it's short. Rebound pulled away. Nico Bedoyan dishes inside. Aiden O'Connell gets whacked on the way to the rim. and he'll go to the line.
That's a wonderful pass by the sophomore Bedoyan, though. Great court vision, started going up for a layup, saw O'Connell driving to the hoop, threw him a nice bounce pass, and Aiden going to the line will shoot a pair.
He had seen Anthony Chin rotate over on the defensive side, and Aiden O'Connell just waiting for the ball on the backside of the lane. Aiden O'Connell hits the first of two. He now has 4. Second on the way, and good. 5 points for Aiden O'Connell. And a 3-point lead for the Bulldogs, 16-13. Just a minute into the second quarter here. Jenkins finds Marshall up top. Kicks down to Anthony Chin. Far side now, Sean Jenkins. They look inside. Jackson Marshall, fadeaway, rims out. Pulled down by Soden, and he's off to the races. Stops, pops, can't get it to go. Bedoyan was there, can't come away with it. Jackson Marshall comes away with the rebound and finds Tyrone Chin. Empty trip for the Bulldogs. They were out, they were running. They're trying to wear down this Astros team with their athleticism and their stamina. Tough entry pass into Chin. That was Jenkins who had picked up his dribble. Chin now rolls back, finds his brother Tyrone Chin, who drives the lane. Gets one to go off the glass. Tyrone Chin with 4 now. Good no call. Sean Toscano tried to slide into the lane and draw the charge. Fell to the ground, but it came off. Nico Bedoyan turns it over now as he tries to drive the lane. And Tyrone Chin comes away with it again.
Pinkerton,
1 point game.
11-2 run for the Astros.
Making it that 1 point game, 16-15. 5:30 to go in the second quarter. Entry pass to Marshall. Gets it up off the glass, gets fouled, gets it to go.
And that's what you can do when you run the offense through the big. You're getting somebody in foul trouble and you're getting a relatively easy basket. You just got to be patient when it comes to that and not force the offense. There's no shot clock, obviously, so why not take it?
Toscano picks up his first foul on the play. He was trying to give a 3/4 or even a full front for Marshall. Couldn't quite get high enough. Entry pass was good, and Marshall makes good on the free throw. 8 points now for Marshall. And the Astros lead by 2. Kazajanski was checked in to Toscano up top. 3-pointer, too strong. Long rebound comes away. Toscano can't chase it down.
2 Bedford players had a shot at that ball. Soden and Toscano both did. And of course, it's hard to communicate in a gym that's this loud, but neither one comes away with it. It rattles around and goes out of bounds.
Toscano will take a seat as Lafferty comes back in. Anthony Chin will inbound to Tyrone Chin, who will bring it up the court. Just over 5 minutes to go in the first half. The Astros lead 18-16. This is Anthony Chin. Gets to his right hand, floats in the lane, can't get it to go. Tap off the rim, bounces around and falls. Anthony Chin's first 2 points of the game, and the Astros are up 4, 20-16. Kazajanski up top. Dylan Lafferty kicks to Aiden O'Connell, gets to his left hand and gets fouled on the drive and the pass off. That's going to be Tyrone Chin picking up his second foul. Team's 5th foul with 4:45 to go in the first half. Caden Brown inbounds to Aiden O'Connell. Little jab step. Chin goes to the floor trying to draw the foul, can't get it. Ball is scrambled for it, quick jump ball. And the possession arrow favors the Astros. 2 teams hustling hard for the ball. Aiden O'Connell, I believe it was Jenkins over there on the floor, tying that ball up for the Astros.
Yeah, O'Connell got after that one. He's talking to the ref right now saying, hey, I won that thing fair and square, but that jump ball had long been called.
It seemed like a quick whistle on the jump ball. The held ball, a very quick count.
That's just because we were watching that girls game earlier where nothing was a jump ball.
The girls game earlier, won by the Bishop Girton Cardinals in the Division I Girls State Championship, prevailing over the Bulldogs. Tyrone Chin now gets to his right hand. Great help defense by Soden. Comes away with the loose ball. He was falling out of bounds and throws it off of Tyrone Chin to give the Bulldogs a possession.
And it's the things like that that make Luke Soden just a joy to watch. Not only saves it, but then has the presence of mind to throw it off of Chin to get his team the ball back.
Aiden O'Connell fakes the handoff to Soden. Doesn't see anything he likes. Now gives it back to Soden on that right side. Soden pulls for three, too strong. Long rebound pulled down by Jackson Marshall, and he finds Tyrone Chin to settle things down. 4-point lead for the Astros, 20-16, just under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Tyler Herland, little weave up top for Jenkins. They drop it down low for Tyrone Chin. Goes to work on Kazajanski, stops, pops, can't get it to go. Soden with the defensive board, and he's out running. Herland, no call on the other side, a lot of contact. Aiden O'Connell's three-pointer won't fall, and the Astros gather the defensive board.
And I'll say that's a good no call. He didn't have position, and O'Connell certainly wasn't at a point where that should have been considered a player control foul.
Sure. Either way, it's a great no call by the referees in that situation. Herland now drives, gets to the elbow, pops, no good. Caden Brown pulls down the rebound. Kazajanski out on the break, gets hit, lays it off the glass beautifully, left-handed, up and under, and gets one to go. The lead is cut to 2, Astros 20, Bulldogs 18.
He was a man on a mission.
He sure was. Came from the right side, put it in his left, got driven under the basket, and was able to contort his body, getting it off the backboard with his left hand. Jenkins now, down to Tyrone Chin, entry pass, Marshall, far side, Anthony Chin, up fake, gets into trouble. Herland took a little bunny hop, got it off, can't get it to go. Dylan Lafferty comes away with the rebound.
I want to go back to your use of the word contort, that is all.
Well, you know, contortionists are quite a spectacle. Caden Brown across the lane, Dylan Lafferty, again contorting his body but can't get that one to go. Jackson Marshall pulls off the defensive board and hands to Tyrone Chin. The Astros up by 2, just over 2 minutes to go in the first half, 20-18. Jenkins, little weave up top, hands to Anthony Chin. Entry pass down low to Tyrone Chin. Spins back to his right. Hit from behind by Kazajanski, who picks up his first foul. And Tyrone Chin will go to the line.
Good defense. I'd take that foul all day over giving him an uncontested basket there.
You see the replay here. Tyrone Chin gets Kazajanski on his back, pivots away, and found some room with his right. Kazajanski didn't have much choice but to whack him on the head. First is no good for Tyrone Chin. He's now 2 for 3. Exactly 2 minutes remain in the first half with the Astros ahead by 2. There's the contortion that you see on the replay by Kazajanski as he got free. Second rattles around and falls. Tyrone Chin now has 5 points. He'll sub out as Bienvenu Cernuda comes back in for the Astros. Hassling Brady O'Connell in the backcourt is Bienvenu Cernuda. O'Connell gets around him, gets him on his back, looks for an outlet, gets stuck. Aiden O'Connell on the ground. Jump ball, it favors the Bulldogs this time as Anthony Chin tied up O'Connell.
And I gotta say, having never seen Bienvenu Cernuda play, he looks, body-wise, he looks like he should be a wrestler. He is a high motor defensive player. That's where he's earning his keep, is he's just a pest.
Not a tall fella, yeah, absolutely. Pest in a good way. Soden for 3, and it's good. Soden with 12 first half points. The referee takes a quick pause as the floor is wet where that last scuffle ensued.
Well, as a couple bodies went down in front of Luke Soden, that really was what freed him up to take that 3.
Yeah, you could see Jenkins slipped on that previous play as he looked at the ref and said, come on, man, the floor was wet, I fell.
Meanwhile,
and he's absolutely right.
There's not a towel to be found
the referee,
in Lundholm Gym.
Referee grabs the dust mop, see if he can dry things off over here.
Yes.
That was a tough one for the Astros, but the Bulldogs certainly appreciated it as they buried the 3.
Does he get paid extra for that?
Perhaps.
He should.
Oh, maybe he's going to take on some janitorial duty after the game.
Yep.
21 all, 1:37 to go in the first half.
Hey, we do what we can.
Luke Soden ties it on that three-pointer. And now the Bulldogs back in their full court pressure. Looking to force a turnover. Cross-court pass. Jenkins again gets whacked by Lafferty as he got open on the backside. Lafferty takes the foul, and Jenkins will go to the line.
That was a smart press break by Pinkerton, and it takes him to the line, shooting a pair. But just getting their men down the court in that instance makes a ton of sense. You're not playing into Bedford's hands there. You're breaking the press. You're giving yourself a good shot at the basket. At the very least, they're getting points on the board.
Points on the board is true as Jenkins makes good on the first. 4 points for Jenkins now. A three-pointer and that free throw. Bends his knees. Second on the way is good. 5 now for Sean Jenkins and a 2-point lead for the Astros, 23-21.
DraftKings had the total set for this at over 142.5, and I got to say, I would have bet the over, and I'd be losing money right about now.
We have an off-ball foul. I believe it's going to be Anthony Chin picking up his first. A hold on Aiden O'Connell, who was cutting through the lane. 6 team fouls on Pinkerton. That is Chin's first. Next foul will put the Bulldogs into the bonus, but there's only 77 seconds possible for that. Brady O'Connell to Soden for 3, no good. Long rebound, comes away to Jackson Marshall. Bienvenu Cernuda harassed by Brady O'Connell. Drives the lane, kicks it across, going up. Ooh, we're gonna have a jump ball. Defensive play there by Brady O'Connell. It's gonna favor the Astros, but good hustle back by Brady O'Connell to tie up the shooter.
I thought Brady got away with one on that, and we'll see that on the film, but it looked like he got a little bit of arm to go along with the ball.
Pretty sure you're right there.
Ball with a side order of arm.
That was Quinn Hammer trying to go up for that deuce.
And he got hammered.
And he did get the hammer by Brady O'Connell. Anthony Chin to Bienvenu Cernuda. Around the outside, Sean Jenkins. They look for the cutter, Hammer. Let that go. Jenkins now to Bienvenu Cernuda.
This is more the pace that will favor Pinkerton.
It sure is. Bienvenu Cernuda tries to drop it to Jackson Marshall, but Lafferty comes away with a steal. Brady O'Connell now. The Astros are back well on defense. Aiden O'Connell drives hard. Takes a good step or two. A little bit of a Euro step there, dragging it out and gets the deuce. 7 points for Aiden O'Connell. And the game is tied at 23, 15 seconds to go in the first half. Bienvenu Cernuda gets to the elbow. Dishes to Chin, down low to Jackson Marshall. Gets it to go. Marshall with 10 now. 2-point lead for the Astros. Brady O'Connell spins away. Dylan Lafferty down the lane. And time runs out as Lafferty didn't know how much was remaining on the clock. The Astros will come away with a 2-point halftime lead, 25-23.
Man, and when you can get that ball into the offensive end that quickly and have nothing to show for it, that's one of those things that at the end of the game, you'll be looking back at saying, we had a good shot. Even if it's Lafferty shooting a 15-foot jumper, hey, he's got pretty decent odds. He's a good shooter. You got to know what the clock is, though.
Tough one on the clock there. As we end the first half, scoring leaders first for the leading Astros. Jackson Marshall has 10. Tyrone Chin with 5. Sean Jenkins with 5. Tyler Herland with that three-pointer. And Anthony Chin with 2 makes out their 25. For the Bulldogs, Luke Soden leads the way as expected. 12 points for Soden, including 4 for 4 from the free throw line. 7 points for Aiden O'Connell. 2 apiece for Austin Kazajanski and Caden Brown. We have 11 and a half minutes on this halftime clock. We're going to take a pause. We'll come back, talk about halftime statistics, and rejoin you for the second half action of the Boys Division I Basketball Championship. And welcome back to the campus at University of New Hampshire. We are in Lundholm Gym on Friel Court. My name is Corey Munster-Tiger with Lauren Fox. Jack Watson providing some analysis as well. The Bulldogs from Bedford trail the Pinkerton Astros at halftime, 25-23. Some stats from the first half. Good things and bad things. The one thing that jumps off the page to me is that 15-9 second quarter. The Bulldogs were ahead by 4 after 1. And now they trail by 2. Jack Watson, high school senior at Bedford High School. Any observations from the first half?
Well, aside from the lower scoring of these two teams, this is just how like their matchup in the regular season was. Pinkerton was going up by a handful of points going into halftime, and Bedford really stepped it up in the third and fourth quarter. Maybe the same thing will happen, but I don't expect the same thing to happen. I think Pinkerton is doing a really nice job of playing patient offense, not forcing anything, getting it to Marshall and kicking it, and also some of their bench players are really stepping it up, making good passes and hitting some shots. I think if you're Bedford, you want to kind of start to introduce that fast, in-your-face kind of smash-mouth defense that they're known of playing, and I think if they can do that and get turnovers and get easy buckets, I think they can win this thing.
They did get some easy buckets there in the first quarter, but slowed down in the second as the Astros took a more deliberate approach, specifically on the offensive end. Lauren, what are you looking for here in the second half?
For Bedford, you're gonna have to find a way to contain Jackson Marshall. He's cleaning the glass on both ends of the floor. Marshall, at this point in the game, I'm looking at, how can I not find this? The man has 8 rebounds for the first 16 minutes. Did not sit at all. He's a useful weapon, and he's a tough one to negate. For Bedford as well, you mentioned that second quarter that was 15-9. Well, Pinkerton closed out the first quarter on a 6-0 run as well. So they're on a 21-9 stretch. If you're Bedford, you got to find a way to get back in control of this game.
Brady O'Connell looks to get back in control. He finds Caden Brown left side. Now Soden right down the middle, up off the glass and in, and we have a tie score.
That's what you didn't expect, was Soden to drive, and it parted like the Red Sea, really. It wasn't, nobody really contested him on that one, and it's not like anybody's in foul trouble at this point in the game either.
12 first half points. Luke Soden now with 14 after that lay-in. 25-25 is your score. They look for the entry pass to Marshall. The Bulldogs doing a good job on the defensive side. Jenkins now down to Marshall. He looks to pass out. Kicks it all the way across on the skip pass. Finds Anthony Chin. Now back to Tyrone Chin. Jenkins now.
Lafferty did a good job dragging Marshall away from the paint.
Just enough pressure to force that. Now Soden comes away with the steal. Jackson Marshall fouls Soden from behind. Good hustle by Marshall, but as you can see, he got some of the leg by Soden. Probably a good foul, as that was likely looking to be a somewhat easy basket for the Bulldogs.
I like the hustle. What I don't like is the potential for injury that comes to both players on a play like that, and I'm grateful that Soden was not injured on that one.
Just Marshall's first foul. 1 minute in here in the third quarter, knotted at 25. Soden drives baseline, gets past 2 defenders, up off the rim, can't get it to go. Ball knocked around, and it comes to Jackson Marshall, his 9th rebound. Chin now drives the lane, dishes, gets stolen. Soden up ahead for Brady O'Connell, takes 2 steps, lays it in, and the Bulldogs have the lead, 27-25. Brady O'Connell's first 2 of the game.
That was one for Chin where he just got a little bit too cute. He elevated, could have gotten a shot off, but decided he was going to make the pass late, turn the ball over.
Jenkins for 3, good. Jenkins now with 8. Up quick to Caden Brown. Wow, a lot of contact, no call. 28-27, the Astros by 1.
Looked like he initiated most of it.
Fair enough. Tyrone Chin now over the timeline, drives hard righty. Draws a double from Aiden O'Connell. Now look, says he picked up his dribble. Brady O'Connell tipped it away and then batted it out of bounds. Good defense there by O'Connell, but couldn't quite get the turnover. Anthony Chin will inbound the ball in front of the Astros bench. Into E.J. Johnston. He drives hard lefty, up off the glass lefty, rattles around, and good lefty.
And he'll be a good one to have back for Pinkerton. He only played the first 2 minutes and 12 seconds, had 2 fouls, was out early. So now he's back. He's an impact player for the Astros.
Lafferty looks far side. Aiden O'Connell now. Brady O'Connell will pull from 3. Good! Brady O'Connell, 5 quick points here in the third quarter, and the Bulldogs have tied it at 30. Brady O'Connell not normally taking those 3-pointers, but found plenty of time and space. Pulled the trigger and got it to go. Tyrone Chin now picks up his dribble, gets it to Jenkins. Looks for cutting Jackson Marshall. And a 5-second call, or did he step out of bounds? Travel, okay, travel call. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate that. I couldn't quite see the official as he was screened out by the players. Travel is called, and it's a turnover on the Astros. 30-30, 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Caden Brown. Tough pass there by Aiden O'Connell. Looked like Tyrone Chin was trying to shoot the gap. Aiden O'Connell drives hard to the basket, and he's going to get fouled. I believe it's Jackson Marshall. No, it is not. It's going to be Sean Jenkins picking up his first. Excuse me, that's his second. Team second here in the second half. Aiden O'Connell goes to the line for two. Big senior makes good on his first. He now has 8 points. Shaking out that hit as he got whacked on the way to the hoop.
There's somebody behind us barking.
The barking didn't work for the first nor the second. And Aiden O'Connell has 9. Makes good on both. The Bulldogs lead by 2, 32-30. Tyrone Chin, bounce pass, near side. E.J. Johnston looks for the entry pass. Down low to Anthony Chin. Caden Brown on the defense. Great cut, backside. Tyrone Chin gets the reverse lay-in. He has 7. The score is knotted at 32. Brady O'Connell cutting Caden Brown. Can't get it to go. Got it off the glass, but not in.
That last Pinkerton possession, Tyrone Chin just did a wonderful job moving without the ball. Caden Brown did the same thing. He just couldn't finish on Bedford's.
Caden Brown goes for the steal. Anthony Chin drives hard, kicks to the corner. 3 on the way, no good. Lafferty tries to chase down the rebound, no good. E.J. Johnston comes up with it. Anthony Chin jumps into the lane. Wow, we're going to get a foul call on Brady O'Connell.
Yeah, there was contact there, and the Bedford fans are calling for a travel, but there was contact on the body, and that's where you're getting the foul called.
Yeah, tough call there for Bedford. Looked like Chin took the step, did not hit the expected jump stop. Fell down. And now we're going to get an offensive foul by Tyrone Chin. That's his third. Got that chicken wing out, the left elbow. You might see it on a replay here. Got the left elbow out and hooked it around Brady O'Connell's head, so he gets called for the offensive foul. We're going the other way. Brady O'Connell now will bring it up the court. Just under 4 minutes to go in the third. Soden gets free, short on the 3. Knotted at 32. Tyrone Chin back up the court for the Astros. Lefty dribble, crosses over righty, gets to the foul line. Kicks back out top, Jenkins. Hands it back to Tyrone Chin. Down in the corner, now for Johnston.
And they are playing at their tempo right now with Marshall on that low block. Ooh. And Bedoyan got him pretty good.
I think they're going to call this on Soden. He came down to help on the double.
That was.
Looked like.
Bedoyan's not even on the court right now. He had position on Lafferty. Soden came down to help out, and Soden got him on the floor, but regardless.
Well, Jackson Marshall gets the foul. They dump it in the middle for him again. Gets it up off the glass, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, Anthony Chin spins away from trouble, and now the Astros will reset. 32 all, 3:10 to go in the third quarter. Anthony Chin regroups for the Astros. E.J. Johnston now near side, Tyrone Chin. Tyrone Chin bounces it up and down at the top of the key, crosses over, kicks it back outside to Johnston. Tyrone Chin looks for the entry. Skip pass, near side, Jenkins. Jenkins looks for Marshall. Can't get the entry. Now they drop it down low. Great big to big pass right there as Jackson Marshall gets the easy lay-in.
Yeah, Lafferty's working his tail off down there, but there's only so long he can neutralize a player who's that much bigger than he is.
And now on the other side, Brady O'Connell takes it hard to the hoop. Jackson Marshall will pick up the foul, count it, and O'Connell will go to the line to try to go ahead. Jackson Marshall too deep there, still moving his feet, and he gets called for the foul. Just his second foul. But O'Connell has 7 points here in the third quarter, looking to make it 8.
No mention of a theatrical foul call by the official.
I mean, he looked a little bit like Leslie Nielsen in Naked Gun making that strikeout call, but I wasn't going to go there.
Hey.
Tyrone Chin here will bring it over the timeline. Anthony Chin now drives hard righty. Pivots back to the middle. Tyrone Chin looked away. Can't get it to go as Soden comes away with the defensive rebound. Getting chased from behind by Chin. Brady O'Connell gets into the middle. Little scooping lay-in will go. 10 now for Brady O'Connell here, all in the third quarter. And he's helped the Bulldogs to a 3-point lead, 37-34.
Big weapon to have, and one that the Bulldogs really haven't had as much recently.
You can see that knee sleeve on Brady O'Connell. Suffered a knee injury late in the regular season, but he is back and at full strength. Dylan Lafferty now will pull it down. Pause. Caden Brown gets a deuce off the glass. Caden Brown with 4. And Coach Chase takes the timeout. 39-34. The Bulldogs have opened up a 5-point lead with 1:38 to go in the third quarter.
7-0 run makes it a 5-point lead, but again, you go back to what makes Bedford successful against this Pinkerton team. It's controlling the tempo.
Getting up pace, getting turnovers, getting out in transition, and again, this long court really helps.
Getting up and down makes all the difference in the world. For Pinkerton, where they struggle is where they get out of their offense. The fast break offense is not their offense. That is not their style of play.
Bring it up, settle it down, set up your offense. Jack Watson, any observations here so far in the third quarter?
Yeah, absolutely, especially on the last 2 possessions. Bedford was able to do a really good job of using their bodies. Grady with the unbelievable layup. I don't think I've ever seen a layup like that. It's pretty acrobatic. And Caden Brown taking it to the hole. Jackson Marshall, I can see right now as I look at him, he just looks tired. He's panting. And you can see down there, he didn't even stick his hands up. He just stood there. He didn't try to stick his hands up to block the shot or nothing. He just seemed very tired, and he's not trying as hard on defense. He hasn't been sticking his hands up, and that's been allowing Bedford to get easy layups.
Tough one there. As you mentioned, Lauren, he did not sit at all in the first half. He had played all 16 minutes and seemingly playing all 8 minutes here in the third quarter as well. Tyrone Chin over the timeline. Finds Johnston, far side. He squares up, back to Tyrone Chin. Up top, they look down low for Anthony Chin. Big to big, picked off, batted around, and then gathered by Anthony Chin right in front of us. Dribbles lefty down in the corner, Lafferty on the defense. His pass tipped. Soden going hard to step into the offensive lane. Johnston dribbles, wow, that's a tough one. Johnston dribbles into the lane. Replay will show that that went directly off the Astros players, and hopefully they correct that call.
There was nobody near him to knock that ball out of his hands.
They do not correct the call, and the Astros get another look at it.
Wow.
Tyrone Chin now. Up top. Down low now for Anthony Chin. Tyrone Chin back up top. Down low, Jackson Marshall looks to get that defensive positioning. Now Tyrone Chin dribbles into the lane, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, Anthony Chin, put back is good. 4 points now for Anthony Chin, 2 in the third quarter, that was it. Sean Toscano for 3, can't get it to go, short. 39-36 is your score. The Bulldogs lead by 3. Just over 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Tyrone Chin over the timeline now. Near side, Johnston. They look down low for Anthony Chin. He's in the lane, he's been in there for a while. Makes a couple of moves, gets to the hoop, draws the foul, and gets the bucket to go.
And again, we saw this in the early game. If you don't call that 3 in the key, you're opening up a host of other things. And in this case, where you're opening up is the bucket and the foul. He was in there for a solid 7-8 seconds, though, easy.
Hyperbole aside, Brady O'Connell picks up his second foul. Anthony Chin goes to the line. 6 points now, looking to make it 7. And they look to tie the score at 39. Some substitutions for both sides. Kazajanski in for the Bulldogs. They'll go with Kazajanski, Soden, Brown, Toscano, and Aiden O'Connell. Pinkerton, the free throw is good by Anthony Chin. He has 7 now. The score is tied at 39. Under 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. We're knotted here at University of New Hampshire in the boys state championship. 10 seconds to go. Luke Soden drives hard into the lane, gets the floater to go. Luke Soden now is 16. Under 3, 2 and 1. Desperation shot is no good by Bienvenu Cernuda. And the Bulldogs take a 2-point lead into the third quarter break.
A couple sort of surprising things. I don't know that he's the guy that I want shooting the ball to end a quarter necessarily. The other one is when you had that stoppage and you had the free throw that Chin was taking, that would have been a logical time to give Jackson Marshall a 20-second break. You get the full quarter break, get him a bit more energized for the fourth quarter. Instead, he's still sort of flagging a little bit. He is aggressive on the boards, there's no doubt, but you're talking about a guy that you're trying to maximize his level of energy down the stretch. You kind of milk him for whatever you can get, and giving the guy a 20-second spell is a big deal.
It sure is. It's the 20 seconds, but it's also the pause. It's also the pause at the quarter break. So yeah, that's the strategy that you look, especially when you're trying to get some guys some rest. He has played every minute so far, all 24. He may go the distance with 32. 8 minutes back on the clock as the teams come out for fourth quarter action. The Bulldogs lead by 2. Jack Watson, any other observations here from that third quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. Pinkerton is also doing a really good job of running that high-low game almost. They're getting it to Anthony Chin, getting it down to him, and then Marshall's flashing that weak side block, and they're really doing a good job of dishing it down to him for those layups. And on offense, Luke Soden at the last play of the quarter for the Bulldogs did a really good job of cutting, using his matchup to his advantage, and just really moving and getting the bucket.
Marshall gets called for the travel after the quarter break here. Design play to get him a look on the block, and he shuffles his feet. Turnover for the Astros.
Like the mismatch with Toscano, he just couldn't execute it.
Soden drives hard. Kazajanski up fake. They kick it back to Toscano. Aiden O'Connell now. Drives hard righty, gets to the rim, lefty, and gets it to go. Aiden O'Connell now in double digits with 11. 7:30 to go in the game. The Bulldogs by 4. Tyrone Chin, far side to Jenkins. Herlin now, back to Jenkins, down low to Marshall. Too strong off the glass, Kazajanski comes down with it. Aiden O'Connell out on the break. He'll take the pull-up jumper, and it's good. A little mid-range jumper just inside the free throw line. 4 quick points by Aiden O'Connell has the Bulldogs ahead by 6, 45-39. Jenkins now far side. Entry pass knocked away by Toscano. They're battling hard down there. Toscano giving everything he can with the oversized and overmatching Jackson Marshall. Got a good hand on that entry pass and knocked it away. Herland will inbound for the Astros. Finds Anthony Chin, knocked away by Kazajanski. The Astros keep the ball.
Through 3, Pinkerton with the decided advantage on the glass. 25-14, 12 of those rebounds to Jackson Marshall.
12 rebounds, 12 points, make it, no, not, well, 13 rebounds and 14 points. He missed the lay-in, but got his own rebound and tapped it back in. 45-41 is your score. Soden, a little jab step, gets into the lane, can't get it to go. Just a bit too strong and back rimmed it.
That's a tough shot, that floater from the lane. You got to be spot on. You can't use the glass if you're straight away.
Down low to Anthony Chin, takes his steps, pivots back into the lane, makes some room for himself, gets it up and in.
It's a very sweet post move for Chin on that one.
He has 9. That was some strength right there by the senior. Aiden O'Connell now gets back the other way and says, I got it, and 1. Got to the hoop, drew the foul, hesitated at the top of the key three-point line there. Got it to go, and the block was called. That was on Jenkins. That's his 3rd foul. And O'Connell will go to the line. He has 15, looking for 16, and looking to put the Bulldogs ahead by 5. He takes his dribbles, shot is on the way, rattles off the front rim but bounces in. He has 16 now, and the Bulldogs lead by 5, 48-41. 53, just over 6 minutes to go in this championship game. Tyrone Chin now with the ball for the Astros. Guarded closely by Brady O'Connell. Gets into the rim, pivots back to his left. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound won't go, and Caden Brown comes away with it. He steps out of bounds as he's triple teamed on that baseline.
And he's got to be careful. He had some choice words after that one, but sometimes the best things to say are left unsaid.
Apparently they were unsaid. No further fouls or issues. As they look for Chin underneath, it gets tipped away by Brady O'Connell. He's double teamed, dribbles out, and he gets fouled here near us by Anthony Chin. That's a tough one to take that far from the basket.
Yeah, I would have thought it was just out of bounds off Chin's foot. Not necessarily a foul there, but he was throwing good money after bad on that one.
Got the hip check in, and good play to draw that foul as well. And the Bulldogs come away with it. Aiden O'Connell kicks to the corner, Caden Brown. Now back up top, Brady O'Connell. Hands to Soden for three at the top of the key, it's good.
Big shot, Luke Soden.
Huge shot, Soden now with 19. And the Bulldogs lead is 8. 51-43, Jackson Marshall pulls from three, way off. Anthony Chin kicks it back out top for Jenkins. Tyrone Chin, down low to Anthony Chin, pulls his way, ooh, wow, they call a block on Caden Brown. Strength going hard to the basket was Anthony Chin, and he draws the foul on Caden Brown. Chin goes to the line for two.
This is the biggest lead Bedford's had since the first. However, if you're Pinkerton, now is not the time to panic. Jackson Marshall shooting from about 24, trailing by 8. Probably not the best set of an offense at that point in the game. Inbound pass off of Lafferty, and it'll be Pinkerton ball underneath yet again.
I thought Chin was on his way to the hoop. I had him going to the line. They called it on the floor. Chin now in the lane, finishes right-handed, and now he has 11. 51-45, a 6-point lead for the Bulldogs. Aiden O'Connell pivots in as Anthony Chin tried to flop and draw the offensive foul. The referees saw through it, and Aiden O'Connell has 18. Jackson Marshall looking to post, steal, Caden Brown. Up ahead for Soden. Out in transition, fumbles the ball, takes the three, good! No good. Bedford called timeout. And Coach Moreno shakes his head in disappointment as he called timeout. Soden buried the three. That's a tough one.
That was such a big three too.
Tough one there. That's all right though, because the Bulldogs still hold an 8-point lead, 53-45, with 4:43 remaining in the game. Outbursts by both Luke Soden and especially by Aiden O'Connell, who has 11 points here in the second half. Soden with 19, O'Connell with 18. They lead the way for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, those two are carrying the freight for the Bulldogs, but would have been nice to have that three. Soden was locked and loaded, ready to go. Moreno didn't like what he had seen on the pass down the court and figured that, all right, we're going to be in a half-court offense. I'll just take a timeout here, reset. Not banking on the fact that Soden's just going to calmly knock down a three.
Crafty player, smooth as silk, cool as the other side of the pillow.
Yes, thank you, Stuart Scott.
Unfortunately, Coach
peace.
Moreno said we're going to keep this side of the pillow here. 53-45, 4:43 remains. And the Bulldogs have the basketball with an 8-point lead. Lafferty gets the inbound pass. Brady O'Connell, Soden kicks back to Lafferty, now back to Soden. He drives lefty, gets hard to the rim, can't get it to go. Marshall comes away with another rebound and walked.
Yeah, might have gotten away with a travel on that one.
Two or three steps, but no call. No call, sorry. They look to post Marshall, down low. Backside help is too late. And Marshall gets an easy basket, 16 for him.
For Pinkerton, that's your ticket back in the game.
6-point lead for the Bulldogs, 53-47. Aiden O'Connell down into the lane, pivots, gets to his left hand, and gets fouled by Anthony Chin on his way to the basket.
Somewhat interesting, you have Marshall camped out down low. ostensibly to stop the drive. And then once the play started happening down there, he sort of pulled out and followed Lafferty outside, whereas that double team on O'Connell probably would have done them some good.
O'Connell will go to the line for 2, as he was in the act of shooting. First is short. Interestingly enough, the Pinkerton team fouls are at 7. So the Bulldogs will be in the bonus for the remainder of this game.
The first free throw missed by the Bulldogs tonight.
Second is good for O'Connell. He has 19 and equals Luke Soden for game high in points. Tyrone Chin now dribbles up top, spins away to his right hand. They look down low, but kick it near side. Sean Jenkins back to Tyrone Chin. They look to entry pass. Jackson Marshall is fronted by Lafferty. They get it to Anthony Chin, pivots away to his left, kicks it back out top, Jenkins. Now Tyrone Chin for 3, too strong. Rebound, gathered, and put back by E.J. Johnston. 4 points for E.J. Johnston, the lead is 5, 54-49. 3:20 to go in the game. Hand off to Soden. He hands it to O'Connell. He's got a little bit of room, decides to drive. Pivots away from pressure, kicks it back out top. Brady O'Connell now. He'll settle things down. He'll be patient with this Bedford offense. Guarded tightly by Tyrone Chin, gets into the lane, drops it down for Soden, double clutch. Gets it off the glass and gets it to go.
I have no earthly idea how he made that shot.
2 defenders flew by as he elevated and hung in the air. Got the ball back up off the glass and got it to go. 56-49, 7-point lead for the Bulldogs. Chin up fake, drives hard, right into the chest of Aiden O'Connell. I believe O'Connell will pick up the foul. It is
Yes.
O'Connell on the foul. And Anthony Chin will go to the line. 1 for 3 from the line is Anthony Chin this evening. He has 11 points. 5 team fouls here in the second half for the Bulldogs. As Chin makes good on the first, he now has 12 points. 2:40 to go in this game, and a 6-point lead for the Bulldogs. Chin takes his dribbles, bends his knees, shot is on the way, and good. 13 for Anthony Chin. 2.5 to go, and the Astros extend their defense. Luke Soden gets free on the baseline, gets the foul, and the hoop. That's E.J. Johnston, who had stayed relatively foul-free here in the second half, but not here. He jumps into the way of Soden, who gets his 22nd and 23rd points and looks for 24 on the and one.
The Pinkerton fans not thrilled with that call, to say the least. We just happen to be sitting right in front of them.
And we're hearing the wrath of the Astro faithful.
Are we going to need a police escort out?
Possibly. I am wearing a Bedford basketball shirt, so now Jackson Marshall pulls from deep, way long. Soden comes away with a long rebound and would benefit from slowing things down. He doesn't. Aiden O'Connell into the lane, can't get the lay-in to go. Rebound stolen by Lafferty, now stolen back by Chin. Anthony Chin rips it away. It's an 8-point lead for the Bulldogs. Tyrone Chin up off the glass, can't get it to go. Rebound to Tyrone Chin, and he gets it up and in. 9 points for Tyrone Chin. And before the Bulldogs can inbound it, Coach Chase takes the timeout for the Astros.
Pinkerton's got to be pleased with how that whole possession worked out. Tyrone Chin was completely inevitable, or I don't even know what word I'm looking for. He just somehow missed the fact that Jenkins was down there on the block for about the easiest basket anybody's had in the game. Next thing you know, winds up getting the basket regardless, but he took a high percentage shot and turned it into a rather complicated possession. We've been talking way too much. The words are not coming easily now. He was oblivious.
Covering 2 games.
The words I was looking for was he was oblivious.
Oblivious, yes. There you go. All right, I appreciate that you found the word you were searching for.
Eventually.
He was oblivious to the pass, but was able to get the offensive board and the putback.
Yeah.
Tyrone Chin with 9 points now, and that was a critical basket. as it pulls the Astros to within 6. 59-53 is your score. 1:56 remains in this game.
Now, we had earlier in the half, we had Pinkerton using a timeout to save a possession, which at that point we said, all right, that's important, that's worth it. Well, Pinkerton now with 1:56 left has one timeout remaining. So you don't want to get yourself in a Chris Webber situation here where you need one and you call one, get that technical foul. So these guys all got to know we've only got one to use and we don't have one to waste.
Tough reference there. We apologize, Chris Webber. You had an outstanding career at the college and professional level, but yes, you are known for that one play.
There was a restaurant.
University of Michigan.
There was a restaurant at Chapel Hill, North Carolina, called the Timeout, with a huge picture on one wall of Chris Webber calling a timeout.
My goodness.
Yes. I don't know if it's still there.
The Bulldogs look to break the press. Coach Moreno takes the timeout as Caden Brown was triple teamed right there by the scorer's table. Good timeout by Coach Moreno. Saves the possession, prevents a turnover, and the Bulldogs will inbound with 1:50 to go and a 6-point lead. And the bonus situation, 8 team fouls for the Astros, only 5 so far for the Bulldogs, so they have a couple fouls to give.
Now, Bedford, on the other hand, a different timeout situation. When Moreno saw that possession going awry, he was wise to use that timeout. At this point in the game, maintaining the ball is critical import. You're up by 6, 1:50 left, so you can't be throwing possessions away at this point, nor can you be throwing away the momentum that comes with a steal and flipping the board the other way.
Luke Soden with 24, Aiden O'Connell with 19, Brady O'Connell chipping in 10 for the Bulldogs. On the other side of the court, the Astros are led by Jackson Marshall with 16, Anthony Chin with 13, 9 by Tyrone Chin, and 8 by Sean Jenkins. Aiden O'Connell now is getting trapped. Bounce pass to Brady O'Connell, skips it far side to Luke Soden. The Astros do not want to foul Soden, an excellent free throw shooter. Brady O'Connell kicks down to Caden Brown, steps around pressure, pivots along the baseline. They kick it back out top and they're killing some time. Brady O'Connell, Caden Brown, now Aiden O'Connell. The Astros are in a zone defense. Lafferty goes up hard and will take a foul delivered by Jackson Marshall, coming down hard and ensuring Lafferty wasn't going to get to the rim.
And ultimately that possession is going to result in a foul one way or the other, but why let 31 seconds tick by when you're not particularly playing aggressive defense? Why let 31 seconds tick by before you commit the foul?
You get the foul, you send Dylan Lafferty to the line.
Yeah, it's exactly what Bedford needed. Bedford needed that time to chew, and they got the time to chew with the foul and the free throw, so I think that was best case scenario for Bedford there.
Chewed off some time from the clock, 1:19 remains, and the Bulldogs make good on both as Lafferty true on free throws 1 and 2, and the Bulldogs lead by 8, 61-53. Driving hard here is E.J. Johnston, tipped away by Soden and out of bounds, so the Astros keep the ball. They will inbound under their offensive basket. Look to get an easy one inside. Three-pointer on the way is good. Sean Jenkins, big ball right there. He has 11. The lead is 5. Aiden O'Connell. Ball fakes back to Aiden O'Connell from Brady O'Connell. He'll settle things down. Far side, turnover. Batted away, Tyrone Chin. They look for Jackson Marshall. Pulls for 3, short. Tapped back in. Anthony Gianza can't get it to go. Ooh, wow, we're gonna get a loose ball foul.
That's an odd call. There wasn't a whole lot of contact on that one. That, at this point in the game, based on everything we've seen, that's the time you just let them play.
That's a tough one there. The Bulldogs pick up their 6th team foul. Brady O'Connell, his 3rd personal. And I agree, let him play in that situation. 46 seconds to go. The Bulldogs lead is 5, 61-56. The Astros have possession. Inbound to Anthony Chin. He loses the ball down low. It's tied up. Bedford basketball on the possession arrow as it was a held ball right in the lane. We hope that dust mop comes back out to clean up that lane.
A little sweaty down there.
As there were about 5 people on the ground getting their sweat all over the place. Jackson Marshall will take a seat on the bench. They get some athletic players in to put some full court pressure on here. Aiden O'Connell hands it off to Luke Soden. Luke Soden's going to need to get it over the timeline, and does. He gets batted from behind. Coach Moreno takes another wise timeout as Luke Soden says, my hand's getting whacked the whole time. Can you call the foul?
Yeah, and that's the benefit of still having those few timeouts, is you can do that now and preserve possessions. But Pinkerton, playing from behind earlier, needed to stop the clock to sort of right the ship. For the Bulldogs, this is a time that you got to figure out a logical play, take a little bit of time off the clock, and whose hands do you want the ball? We know that O'Connell and Soden are your guys. If you want consistent free throws, those are your guys. Those are the guys you want having the ball here.
Absolutely, those two very good free throw percentages throughout the regular season. Soden is 5 for 5 tonight, and Aiden O'Connell is, let's see, 6 of 7 by my count.
He is 6 of 7, that's correct.
So you want them to have the ball in this inbound, draw the quick foul, and like you said, if the Astros are going to give up the foul anyway, they don't want a lot of time to run off the clock. Next foul will be number 10 for the Astros, putting the Bulldogs on the line for 2. Inbound to Aiden O'Connell. He rips through pressure and he'll go to the line. Aiden O'Connell will step to the line for 2. Anthony Chin with the foul. That's his 4th. Team's 10th, so double bonus. And Aiden O'Connell shakes out his shoulders. Wants to make sure he is ready for these free throws. Takes a couple of bounces. Shot is on the way and rims out. 30.5 seconds on the clock. A 5-point lead for the Bulldogs.
He's got to breathe. Like Lauren said in the Trinity game, he's got to breathe.
Breathe he does, takes his knee bend, shot is on the way, and it's good. Nothing but net, and 20 points for Aiden O'Connell. Ball is inbounded. Tyrone Chin up the court quickly. Drives hard, kicks for 3. Drive though, on the way, baseline jumper no good. Aiden O'Connell pulls away the rebound and he gets fouled again. E.J. Johnston couldn't hit the baseline jumper. That would have made a huge difference. The Bedford faithful are really excited at this point in time. A 6-point lead, 19.9 seconds to go. Aiden O'Connell on the line for 2 shots.
Well, this thing was having potential for being a really rough weekend. The Bulldogs lost on the ice yesterday, 4-3 on a penalty shot. Lost the girls' game by half a dozen earlier today. So this one, even though you have 3 teams in the championship, as O'Connell makes the first one, you don't want to get blanked during the weekend. Nobody remembers that necessarily, although we respect the efforts of the other 2 teams. It's nice to come away with 1 trophy for the case.
And a trophy is looking likely as Aiden O'Connell buries the second. He has 22.
And this is extra special because it's Bedford's first boys Division I trophy. Anthony Chin airballs a 3-pointer, rebound Soden, he gets fouled and he'll go to the line for 2. And now the Bedford crowd is really hearing it. The coaching staff, the players on the sideline, they're excited. The student section is going bananas, and the Pinkerton folks are headed for the exits.
I'm shocked that Jeff Butts is excited. He's usually a pretty mild-mannered guy. It's pretty strange, out of character.
Coach Butts absolutely thrilled. Big hug for Coach Moreno right now. The Pinkerton Astros are giving hugs to the Bulldogs right now. A little unusual. There are 10 and a half seconds remaining. I appreciate the sportsmanship, though, as they are congratulating the Bulldogs here near midcourt. Luke Soden with 2 on the way. 10 and a half seconds to go. He makes good on the first. You heard the chants. On the far side, the student section, MVP, MVP. Player of the year in the state of New Hampshire has not been announced as far as I know. Certainly he will make All-State.
They have been.
Oh, they have. Okay, well, Soden makes good on the second. He has 26 on the evening. Under 10 to go. Brandon Gendron hoists the 3-pointer, no good. Soden appropriately comes away with that last defensive rebound. And your state champions are the Bedford Bulldogs. Student section piles onto the court. They're excited, as is the town of Bedford. Congratulations to the Bedford Bulldogs on the 2023 State Championship, Division I boys basketball. They're filtering onto the court, jumping around with the team. Excitement all around.
Always a fun moment, and Thomas Braga's right in front of us. He didn't play tonight, but the role that he played in that Trinity game, obviously a big one. But this one, for this student body, is a big deal. And there's a lot of excitement on the part of the student body, understandably so. Makes it a lot of fun for them going to school tomorrow, knowing that, hey, our basketball team, regardless of whether you were a fan who went to games or you were at practices or you're a JV player, everybody has a role in this thing, and something for these students to enjoy and be proud of.
The Bulldogs finished the season with a 20-1 record. Their only blemish coming against Nashua North on January 6th. They dropped that one 67-60, but that was the only loss of the season. They powered through. Huge overtime victory in the quarterfinal over Trinity. 2-point overtime win, and then a Nashua South tight game through 3. They pulled away late, and now they come away with a 10-point victory here. 66-56 is your final. The Bulldogs are victorious.
And it was interesting to talk to Coach Butts after that loss. We saw him after the game, and you figure he's going to be upset. You figure he's going to be annoyed. And he was looking at it, and I believe the rest of the coaching staff was on the same page. They're looking at it as, this is an opportunity for us to learn and improve and get better. Sometimes you need that partway through the season in order to right the ship and kind of course correct. And the Bulldogs took it that way, and this really was a storybook season for them.
It is incredibly hard to go through a basketball season undefeated. They were foiled in January, and like you said, and Coach Moreno agreed, it's sometimes a good thing to have a test somewhat early in the season. They had another test in that Trinity game. They came out well, and now they come out on top of everything. Only one team that makes the playoffs finishes with a victory, and this year it's the Bedford Bulldogs.
This stat sheet is slightly incorrect.
What's incorrect? What did you see right away?
You and I had Brady O'Connell with 10.
Yeah.
The stat sheet has him with 6. So somebody else got his points. But
looks like Aiden O'Connell might have had a couple of them. I had Aiden finishing with 22. The stat sheet has him with 25. So
phantom points, but regardless,
either way,
at this point that doesn't matter.
What does stand out to me with the game-ending statistics are the free throws. The Bulldogs ended with 19 of 21 at 90%. Outstanding free throw shooting, led by Luke Soden, a perfect 7 for 7. Aiden O'Connell only missed 2, and the Bulldogs again coming away with victory.
And for Bedford, just 7 turnovers in 32 minutes of basketball. Impressive number, not a ton of assists, but 7 turnovers in 32 minutes. That in and of itself is impressive.
A somewhat young team here for the Bulldogs too. They do graduate 6 seniors, but they have 4 juniors and 2 sophomores that were getting significant time across the board. So this program has a bright future as well. Coach Moreno is excited about what next year holds as well.
As well he should be. Yeah, somehow Brady O'Connell got 1 of Soden's points and 3 of his cousin Aiden's points. Regardless, doesn't matter.
We'll do a wrap up on the scores. Luke Soden led all scorers with 26. Aiden O'Connell had 22. Brady O'Connell with 10 on our stat sheet. Caden Brown with 4. Lafferty and Kazajanski each chipped in a bucket. For the Astros, Jackson Marshall had 16. Anthony Chin with a strong 13, mostly coming inside the paint. Sean Jenkins with 11. Tyrone Chin with 9. 4 points for E.J. Johnston and 1 3-pointer by Tyler Herland made out their 56 points. The teams have received their medals. The Bulldogs are victorious. Handshakes have been completed, and we're going to sign off. Congratulations again to the Bedford Bulldogs. Outstanding season capped off by a 10-point victory here in the Division I state championships. For the BCTV crew, Lauren Fox, Jack Watson joining with some analysis, Bill Jennings, Andrew Fenn, Harry Kozlowski on the radio side for production. I'm Corey Munster-Tiger. Have a great evening and congratulations to the state championship Bedford Bulldogs.